What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. In this episode, we're going to explain all the important news that happened over the weekend and what plays we are eyeing for this week. We have some news with Pfizer, even some news with OPEC, and some Black Friday statistics for everyone in this video. And like I said, plays are, we're also going over our plays in this video. And at the end of the video, we have a $3.1 million option that we are eyeing for this week. So with that being said, if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on our YouTube homepage each day. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, there was actually some awesome news that came out this weekend, and with the way that the vaccine has really been pumping up the market lately, with Pfizer, there's been news that came out that Newsweek reports that the first doses of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine have made it into the United States from Belgium, and it's being flown in from United Airlines, which is ticker UAL, on dry ice. And a lot of these guys are going to be watching United Airlines and Pfizer tomorrow. So really watch out for a possible pump with those two stocks, and also the overall market, because as we've seen over the past few weeks, whenever any type of good news comes out with these vaccines, the market just skyrockets. And I could really see the market going up off of this news, but just with the way the market's been lately, anything could happen. But I would definitely go into Monday with a bullish sentiment.
For sure. And, airline stocks in general have been doing pretty well. So what are you thinking on airline stocks and like Pfizer for next week?
Yeah, I mean, airline stocks, like we've said over the past couple of weeks, they've really been pumping, and they're actually breaking some long-term trends and stuff like that. I could really see these airlines possibly continuing to pop. Pfizer, that one, I could honestly see them going up as well, and I would think that they would go up. But just right now, it seems like good news can possibly make things go down. So it just seems, I'm going to be wary about it, but I do like the setup on this stock. It's bouncing off the 200 SMA, kind of consolidating between some on this daily chart. And I definitely think that with the news of it finally shipping out and actually arriving in the US, I would have to think that would make them go up. But, just like I said, anything can happen right now, and the market's just in a very strange place.
Yeah, they're setting up pretty good on the chart. Pfizer is. And then plus this news, it's good news. So I'm expecting a positive reaction out of that, but we will see what happens. So what else happened over the weekend?
Traffic at stores on Black Friday fell by 52.1% compared with last year, according to preliminary data from Sensormatic Solutions. Shoppers are spreading out their shopping throughout the holiday season because of concerns about social distancing and the pandemic, said Brian Field, who works at Sensormatic Solutions. And he said that is obviously a problem, that people are going to be spreading out their money right now. So a lot of these companies looking for big numbers like Target and Walmart on Black Friday might not get the type of numbers that they're seeing. There was a 52.1% drop in traffic at the stores. And with that being said, Adobe Analytics reports that online spending only surged by 21.6%, but that did hit a new record, which is good for online spending, obviously. But a lot of these retail stores, that I think that they're going to get hurt by this. And I think that stores like Target and Walmart, and I know that they do online sales, but you would have to think that a 50% drop in the store would hurt them, especially if there was only a 21% increase in online spending. So I would think that there would just have to be some type of drop in some of the more retail companies out there. And it's just some crazy numbers to hear that, the traffic at stores fell 52%, but with the virus and everything, I mean, it was kind of expected. And this is the first Black Friday we've had with the virus.
True. I mean, looking at Walmart, they're basically at all-time highs right now, and so is Target. So they're pretty high up there. If we see a negative reaction off of the news you listed, I might even be looking to short these stocks, but it depends on if this news even affects these stocks. Especially because they are at all-time highs right now, or at least very close to them.
Yeah, and they've been innovating and getting more online sales, so hopefully that can actually push them through this. And I would think that a lot of these companies obviously would have expected a lot of the traffic at the stores to go down as well.
Yeah, and then oil actually did pretty well for the past 3 weeks. And then what news came out with OPEC?
Yeah, this is actually huge. The coalition known as OPEC Plus, which compromises some of the world's largest crude oil producers, will begin a 2-day meeting on Monday to discuss the next phase of their production policy. And it agreed to the largest single output cut in history back in April. And that output cut is pretty much what made oil start going back up from their lows of around $6.50 on the futures here. And that whenever the oil is going down, you can pretty much have a production cut to where you cut production of oil. And what that does is it makes oil have a higher demand. So then the price of oil goes up. And we could see that largest cut in history back in April really made oil skyrocket back up. And one thing is that they were actually starting to roll back this production cut. They started with 9.7 million barrels per day. Now they're rolling it back to 7.7. So in theory, that would make oil fall down in the short term. But in this meeting that they're going to be having on Monday, they're actually going to be talking about slowing down those rollbacks. So they're actually going to keep the production cuts going longer to possibly pump up crude oil even higher. But with that being said, OPEC plus is a lot of Middle Eastern countries as well as Russia, and there's a lot of countries in there. And the United States is trying to get back into producing shale and getting back into offshore drilling right now. So the U.S. is trying to actually increase production, and OPEC plus is trying to decrease production. So they're kind of going against each other, but OPEC plus definitely has a higher weight in the market.
Yeah, so like Tom mentioned, when people cut the supply or cut production of oil, it lowers the supply. So that's why the prices go up. So it's pretty simple to understand. But like Tom said, we have been seeing oil really skyrocket, and depending on what is agreed on in this meeting, will dictate where oil goes in the short-term future. Obviously, if they announce, more production cuts, we should expect oil to continue higher as there will be less supply, and obviously that would make the price go up. So we will see what happens, but it's definitely some news to watch out for. So now let's get into our Discord member of the day, and today's member of the day is AB4848. So he is always posting great comments on the YouTube channel, but also in the Discord community. So he's always just very positive, always helping other members, just a very positive person. So we just wanted to give a huge shout out to AB4848. Thank you so much for all your positivity on YouTube and in Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord server, it's the first link in the description down below. Tom and I post completely free day trades every single morning, about 15 minutes before open, and you can network with about 11,000 other members. So now let's get into our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is CGC. So this stock is kind of exploding. Just a lot of marijuana stocks are doing pretty well lately. So Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Make them pop above 29.30, and if they break that, they could really run. Let me look at the daily just to make sure we're not at any type of crazy resistance. And yeah, I really like that level. If we break that, watch for a possible resistance around $30.75. So you could have a pretty good, maybe $1 move on those options tomorrow for a quick day trade.
Nice. With the next one, we have Etsy.
Etsy, ETSY. Make them go ahead and pop above 161. Actually just do 162 rather than 161.77. They'll probably have some pre-market movement. So if they break 162, raise it up to 162.50.
All right. And then we have Twilio.
TWLO. Make them break 321.
All right. And then last but not least, we have Zoom.
Zoom. They've been killing it. Make them break 475.75.
So for all of these plays, we are eyeing them only if they break above the levels Tom listed. We would like them to the upside just for quick day trades. And then if you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. But now let's get into our unusual options activity for this week. And we are looking at the Palantir 25 strike puts that expire this Friday, December 4th. There was about $3.1 million put into this play. Tom, what are you thinking with this one?
Wow, yeah, we've definitely been watching PLTR for a while, and it's been killing it. And on Friday, on Friday, it actually had a really bad day and ended up coming pretty far back down. And I would honestly think that they're longing this. I know it's pretty far out of the money for their current price. They're around $28, and these are $25 puts. But man, just given that drop on Friday and how high that they've gone over the past year, I would really think that they're longing these. And plus, they have, I mean, they expire pretty quickly. But another thing is like they didn't put 50 million on the play. It's only 3 million.
Right. You know, my gut instinct would tell me that they're longing these puts, meaning they want Palantir to fall. But at the same time, I mean, we would see red days kind of like this with Neo for the past month or two, and that thing just kept going up and up and up. So like Palantir is kind of reminding me with Neo right now. Like you see a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of hype behind it. It's just really running up. There's just a ton of buyers with it. So I don't know. I'm just pretty cautious with it because just seeing how much Neo has ran, like it just makes me a little cautious to like look at puts when we see like such a huge run up, because Palantir went from about $9 all the way up to 33 and what do you like about a month and a half, and Neo, you know, went from what is that $2 all the way up to 57 in a couple months, and they're still running up. So I don't know. Like my gut instinct tells me that they're longing the puts, but just seeing what Neo has done, I'm a little cautious.
Yeah, definitely. And what does Palantir do exactly, just so we can let people know?
Yeah, they're really into the data field. They do a lot with data and different like technology like that.
Gotcha. So yeah, obviously that then they're in that type of sector that's going to run like that. And I love it, Mike. I mean, it's just a great stock, especially for the past year. And I think that like with Neil, just like you said, we would see a big red day like this, and then it would just recover right away. Like, let's go look at the chart. Yeah, like just like right here, you could see Neo had this really big red day and then just had a nice green recovery right after that. And we could definitely see that with the way PLTR has been hyped.
Oh yeah. All right, now let's get into our questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Anastasia saying, if history repeats itself for this time of year, we should buy SPY puts for next week. What do you think? Well, I'm just gonna, 2020 has been crazy. 2020 has been like no year we've seen like ever really. There was a statistic out. Tom and I were actually kind of laughing about this. I think it was like a month ago, something like that, where it was a specific day on the market, a specific date, and it was like historically the most green day out of like the entire stock market history, and everyone was expecting the stock market to be up like 2%, or I don't know, it was just some like crazy number, and that day ended up being like one of the worst days in like a couple months. So 2020 has just been kind of like a backwards year, and I wouldn't reference like last year to like look at this year, especially like in like time wise. So I don't know. I personally wouldn't look at this just because it's just 2020 is just crazy, and we're in a very unique year to say the least.
Yeah, and every year the market changes. You know, the market's an always changing entity, so it's always changing and creating new trends. So I don't, whenever we look at things in history like that, we don't like to take it. We like to take it to heart, but we don't like to use it, for a given fact. We still want to see some good confirmation. So maybe like if SPY double tops right here at 364.38 and we can't break this next week and we start to head lower, maybe then you could pick up puts and you could get confirmation on that. But just given the way SPY looks right now, it really looks like it's running and it might break highs. And also we have this vaccine news coming out with where Pfizer just shipped those vaccines over here, so I think that might be able to boost the market up as well.
I like how you brought up, like, it's good to look at certain statistics and understand them, but you shouldn't always like make a decision solely based off one statistic, especially in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, this year is so crazy, anything can happen.
Yep. All right, we have Whitney saying, what do you think about Best Buy for the longer term right now? So BBY, they've been doing pretty good this year, actually. And then even looking at their max weekly chart, they're doing pretty good. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, they're doing really good this year. I hope that the traffic at stores on Black Friday going down doesn't hurt them. And, I really would hope it doesn't. And it looks like they might be double topping around 125, at least in the short term. But in the long term, I really like them. They sell a lot of tech, and they are big into online sales as well, kind of like Walmart and a lot of those companies have kind of been transitioning. Best Buy has been doing that as well, and I know that they get a lot of sales, and you can see that their earnings per share, it's still a pretty good number, even though they got hit by COVID. You could see it went down, but they've been recovering and clawing their way back. And I think that for the long term, I don't think it's ever a bad time to pick up Best Buy, but I just think that it might be a little high on the chart right now. But other than that, I think it's still a good long term hold. But if you buy here, I wouldn't go all in right here. I might start to average in here.
Yeah, and then I actually see a nice channel between the 110 and like the $125 level. Or yeah, like right around there. It's a nice channel. So maybe if we break below that, you could average down more. Or if we break above the channel, it'd be a good time to average in too. So thank you for sharing that. And then we had Bravo saying, "Hi guys, great work and happy Thanksgiving. What do you think about ELY? Some analysts recently said the stock price can be worth $25 to $30. So Tom, what is this, Callaway Golf?
Yeah, Callaway Golf, and man, they've been doing great ever since COVID. I mean, you can see COVID really killed them, but they came all the way back, and a lot of golf courses did not shut down. And I know, at least by where I live, which is Missouri, a lot of people have been playing golf because everything else is shut down besides golf. So I think that Callaway could do pretty well. They are a pretty low price stock, which is the only thing that worries me, because you can see, like, whenever COVID happened, they fell from $20 all the way down to $4.75. So it's not like they fell 50% or something. They really fell down. And, it's just one of those stocks that it could be very volatile. But with that said, I think for the long term, it's a good stock. But in the short term, you could possibly get hurt just given how high of a percentage it moves because of the stock price.
Yeah, so just another thing to keep in mind is just because you see an analyst spit out a number, please don't get too caught on that. You're going to see a lot of analysts say some really crazy things.
Yeah, they were saying Tesla was going to go bankrupt a year ago.
Right, exactly. Exactly. That's a perfect example. So just be careful what you hear from analysts. And then we have Tom saying, "Hi, Mike and Tom. So thankful for you guys and so grateful for your wisdom on the markets. What is your advice watching SPY, QQQ, and DIA during trading days, and how might they affect stocks we're watching?" So I think this is an amazing question, and I actually use this a lot. So let's say that we're in the middle of a trading day, right? And we see the SPY, QQQ, and the Dow all trending very strong to the upside, right? And let's say you see, I don't know, random example, Apple trending down, and let's say they're at support, and even though they might be looking good for a breakdown, if you see indices just flying in one direction, normally that's going to affect a lot of stocks within those underlying indices. So for example, if you see the NASDAQ exploding up, and you see some certain tech stock within the NASDAQ kind of sitting at support, that would suggest, in my opinion, to not short them. Generally what I like to do, especially when day trading, is ride the overall momentum of the market. So you really don't want to fight against the market. I've learned that lesson in the past. For example, no matter how good a short setup might be, if the underlying indice that stock is in, if it's going the other direction, you're really just kind of fighting against the momentum. And it's, in my opinion, it's just not a smart thing to do. This is a great question, and I feel like a lot of people don't even think about this. So great question, Tom. You really don't want to fight against the momentum of the markets. There's a lot of algos and HFTs and a lot of things that cross-reference specific stocks with their underlying index and do a lot of crazy things. So my best advice would be to just follow the direction of the market. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last-minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
One big thing that I've really still been watching, I know I've been talking about this for the past few days, but it's Twitter. And Twitter's been looking pretty good, especially to the upside. It's starting to fill that gap. And I think it's a pretty solid trade, maybe up to the $48 level. There is a slight resistance around 47.80 to 48. So I would target around 47.80 to $48 if you do trade this. So you could possibly get another $1 move on this one. I like this as well. And I also have been watching DraftKings as well. They have been killing it. And it just looks like they had a bull flag last week. And then on Thursday and Friday, on Wednesday and Friday, because there was no trading on Thursday, but on Wednesday and Friday we had 2 green days and actually broke out of that flag, and now we're sitting right at a resistance around $53. So I think if we break $53 on DraftKings tomorrow, that could also be a great day trade. And man, DraftKings has really been killing it back to the upside. And I think that with football and stuff going on and college football starting and all that, it's only going to help DraftKings even more.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. We post videos every single day. And if you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I and get access to the machine learning robot, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.